Hello everyone, so this is actually my first sort of clickbait video, but don't worry, it's not really clickbait. There is something interesting in here. Now, I got this some time ago, and I haven't really done anything with it, so I'm going to take a look and see. Well, first off, we'll have a look at what it is, and we'll see if we can do anything with it. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dun 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 dun. Ugh. Yay! There we go. We have a JVC. We've got a JVC power pack. So there you go. There's your JVC power pack. We have a Ferguson VHS charger. And we have, well, we've got this here, which is a little handle. We've got this strap. We have another battery, which we'll put over by the charger. And in here, covered in what looks like remnants of the foam cover from the casing, we have a Ferguson VHS branded Jvc camera. This is actually a Jvc camera, but obviously, because as you well know from my channel, Ferguson had a tie-in with Jvc, or Thorn rather, so you actually got high quality Jvc equipment, VHS equipment, rebadged as Ferguson. So this one got the shoulder pad. This is a Ferguson 3C01. There we go, so we'll get that out. And do we have anything else in here? We have obviously the shoulder strap, and that's actually it. The rest of it is just this sort of rather dirty case of all this sort of sticky residue. So I think one of the first things I want to do is to actually vacuum out, as far as possible, a lot of this sticky residue. So we'll start off with a simple vacuum. There we go. So to actually replace this stuff, I need to get hold of some of the foam blocks that you can get, that you can actually mould into shape. So I've got the VHS camera upstairs, which I need to do that for as well. So when I do that, I'll also get some for this as well. There we go. So it's actually coming up okay, I think. There we go. I'd say that's probably the worst of it. Now we'll use some multi-purpose wipes. And what I'm going to do is just give it a general sort of wipe and scrub down with the multi-purpose wipes. So, whilst I do that, I will put you on pause and be back shortly. So after a bit of elbow grease, we do actually look a lot better. So do not feel quite so guilty storing the unit in this now. Also, as regards the unit, given that a bit of a clean up as well, so that's actually looking a lot healthier. It's got one of those little CRT style, well, actually not CRT style, it has a little CRT viewfinder, which is here. If you pull this forward, you can actually see that you've got the on this side you've got the focus and what's that one? Focus and brightness adjustments. Generally they don't need to be touched, but you can adjust that if you needed to. Output wise, we have EVF, which is the viewfinder, electronic viewfinder. AV out, which is obviously, well, as it literally says, AV out. We don't have any of the cables for the AV out side, unfortunately, so if this does work, I would need to source some of those, and they are keyed into how they go in as well. We also have all the standard features that you would expect to see on a unit of this age. The one thing that I find a little bit disappointing when I can say compare it to the Panasonic Panasonic M7 is it doesn't seem to have a separate section on here for standard power input, so it seems to be that it's either the battery or nothing. I do suspect, though, to be honest, that there's probably an adapter that clips onto here that will allow you to run it off of a standard DC, AC to DC power supply. This is one of the batteries. The battery pack itself is a 12 volt 1.8 amp hour supply, so you could theoretically hook up 12 volts to this and you should be able to get some life out of it. So yeah, you've got positive this side, negative this side. Let's have a look at the buttons that we have on the top. So there would be usually a flap covering this, but we have all of the standard sort of depth controls that you would expect. There's also a tracking control as well, which has a central point in line with there, and obviously some of the standard features as well, such as actually a calendar that's for setting the clock, and you know, all of the sort of standard deck features, eject button, etc. Built-in microphone, but there is also a little jack down here which allows you to plug in an external microphone. Lens-wise, we do have a zoom lens. I'm not quite sure how far it zooms. There is apparently autofocus as well. There is a fade function, so you can obviously fade in and out. And a battery save button, which I would assume would save the battery. I guess it would probably turn off this. And that's really all there is to it. I've actually got a battery charging up at the moment, so I'm actually interested to see if I can get some life into it. So I've just hooked it up to this nifty little 12 volt DC supply, and let's see if we have anything at all. So that was just displaying something earlier, so let's just try powering it up again. So it does do that. That does pop open, so there is life. And yep, there is definitely a little display there. If I pop off the lens cap, is it focusing on anything? It does seem to power off after a couple of seconds, so I do wonder if the little supply is not up to giving it the power that it needs, or if it just goes into some kind of power save mode. Yeah, so it just does seem to power off, but it does power on. Yeah, so there is life. Let's see if I've got a VHS cassette anywhere in the immediate vicinity. Whilst we're looking for that, let's have a look at this little thing. So this is our AC to DC converter. We've got a dial here that switches between, although it's out of line, but it's 6 volts, 9 volts and 12 volts. So that apparently is registering on the 9 volt scale at the moment. Yeah, 12 volt is right at the end. So let's power it on, see what it does. So it doesn't jump at all. But we do have life, which is good. Now I've got the battery charging at the moment, so I'm actually tempted to leave that battery charging and see what happens. But for the minute, it does seem like it wants to live, which is good. I doubt there's enough juice to start it recording, seeing as it does seem to turn itself off. So I do wonder if that little unit is really genuinely only giving 9 volts. So if I switch it back to 9, hit the power button, yeah, it will still power on even with just the 9 volts. If I go to 6 and hit the power button, yeah, it won't power on at all. So it will power on with 9 volts, I think. Yeah, it'll power on with 9 volts. It might just be actually this dial is dirty, you know. Yeah, it could just be a dirty dial on the DC converter. But anyway, this is one that we will continue to take a look at. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.